Hey everyone, Chris here with a video updating my progress and my set build for a 1954-55 Parkhurst hockey set. I have picked up 3 more cards, which would give me 11 of the 100 as I've just started this. And so I want to share those with you today. The first one that I have is this card, number 45, Tony Leswick. He played for the Detroit Red Wings. He was kind of a small guy, but he was one of those kind of tough and gritty players who wasn't really afraid to mix it up with some of the bigger forwards that he played against. His nickname was actually the Mighty Mouse, and what he is best remembered for is he scored the series-winning goal in Game 7 in overtime of the 1954 Stanley Cup Finals. And kind of the way that play broke down is Glenn Skov kind of brought the puck across the blue line, and he passed it around the boards to Leswick, who took a shot at the goal. And defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens, Doug Harvey, he attempted to glove it, and it kind of ricocheted off his glove and passed goalie Jerry McNeil for the winning goal. Now, the Canadiens and the Red Wings were bitter enemies during the 1950s. I mean, they were really big rivals. And this was a play that really kind of shocked the Canadiens, and they kind of immediately just skated off the ice, and they didn't even shake hands with the winners there. But just a great moment in hockey history. Unfortunately, it's probably not known about from too many people, or maybe even forgotten in some ways because it was so long ago. But that was a great series, and at the time, and probably still, it was considered one of the more exciting Stanley Cup series. There were a total of 16 Hall of Famers that played in that series. Now, I think I talked about this before when I did my first video. There are Lucky Premium backs for some of these cards, and this is a Lucky Premium back. Basically, there were Lucky Premium back cards that were inserted into some of the packs, and if you pulled one of them, you could send the card in and some money to get one of the prizes on the back of the cards. It does make them a little tougher to find, but there doesn't seem to be a premium for them, which is kind of surprising to me, but I kind of get it because they have some great bios on the back of these cards. And one of the things that I think I'm going to enjoy, and one of the things that I hope you will get a value out of with watching some of these videos as I build this set, is some of the mistakes I make along the way. Kind of my strategies that I use, some of the things I think through trying to build this set on a budget, and just what I want the set to look like overall from an eye appeal standpoint. But one mistake I think I've already made with this particular card is I think I really want one with the biography on the back, because it does mention his game-winning goal in the previous season. So I think I am going to try and pick one of those up that actually has the bio on the back. And I'm going to talk a little bit more at the end of this video about some strategies and things like that, because I do think it's kind of interesting. And now the second card that I picked up here is card number 18 of Jim Morrison. He played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He actually played for multiple teams during his career, including several seasons in the AHL, and he's actually a member of the AHL Hall of Fame. He started his career as a forward, but moved to the blue line when hockey bad boy Gus Morrison was injured, and so he kind of took over for them when they had a need, and he remained a blue liner for the rest of his career. Now, speaking, and just real quickly to kind of show you the back here with these great bios on the back, as you can see, they go into some pretty good detail. So that's one thing I really like about them. And that may be why there's not really a premium on the Lucky Premium backs for this set. But speaking of Gus Morrison, you may remember in a previous video me talking about him. He had gotten into a fight during the 1948 All-Star Game. It was the only time that this has ever happened in history. And so that brings me to the third card that I picked up for this set. And that is of Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. They did get into a fight in the 1948 All-Star game, which I just find very interesting. I'm not going to talk a lot about Gordie Howe. There's a lot that's already been said about his career, and I want to leave a little bit of time to talk about strategies and things like that. And one thing about this card, and I did mention this before, I think, is these cards from this set, they tend to have this kind of discoloration on the white borders, especially the All-Star cards that have those white backgrounds. They're really, really difficult to find without discoloration. And it seems like some of these All-Star cards, some of the players are a little bit easier to find without the discoloration. Me working on a budget, you can see this one definitely has some discoloration. But the price worked for me. I was happy to get it. I think overall it has really good eye appeal. And it's the first kind of big card from this set that I'm able to kind of knock out, and so I'm really happy to do that. And just kind of show you real briefly the back here, and just kind of talk a little bit about my strategy. You know, I'm kind of working on a budget for this. There's a certain budget that I have in mind of completing this set. And in my kind of visual mind, I guess, I'm kind of thinking about what I want the overall eye appeal of the set to look like. And talking about the minor mistake I made earlier in the video with the Leswick card, I think when you're building a set, I think there are two times when you tend to make the most mistakes. That is in the beginning of building the set, and at the end when you're building the set. Because in the beginning, you're still kind of learning the nuances of the set, and you're learning the prices and things like that. And I tend to think you make a few mistakes in the beginning when you're doing that. And I think also at the end you tend to make buying mistakes, paying a little bit too much sometimes, because you get close to finishing that goal. You get close to finishing that set, and you just want to complete it, and sometimes you might overpay just because you want to complete that set. For me, I'm going to try and be very patient with this, and especially as I go along, I think you should make better decisions as you go along, because again, you do learn those nuances to building the set. So just to kind of show this card again, I'm really happy to get this. I mean, it's a great card, Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey. I just love the card. I love the red star for the All-Star. The red represents first team All-Star, and the blue represents second team All-Stars. So that's all I have for this video. I'm going to update this, so I have 11 cards out of the 100. And just real quick on the 1964 top set, I do have one card that I've added to that too, but I'm hoping to maybe get a couple of more before I do an update on that set. Those seem to be kind of tougher to get to me. I'm not able to really find them at the right price for what I'm looking for so far, but I'll update that when I maybe add another card or two. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.